up, clapback culture? Welcome back to another Thursday episode of one of your favorite shows on Thursday night, Clapback Culture. Happy to be here. Happy to be back. We've been on hiatus because there was Thanksgiving and all these other things kind of in between, but I am so glad to be back. Okay, you can still hear me. Good. All right, well, glad to be back. And of course, I could not do this show without Big Rado. Let me go ahead and bring him on in.
What's up, great people? How y'all doing, y'all?
What's up? On? Welcome.
Thank you. You follow.
Listen, if you haven't already, go ahead and share the stream. Let somebody know what we're talking about today. There is quite a bit on the menu. And you don't want to miss it. Okay. We're going to definitely dive deep. The headline's been headlining the last 2 weeks. One where we took a break and we saw that, I'm not going to jump all the way into it, but listen, you guys, we're going to get into Diddy. We're going to get into T.I. getting into an argument with his son, King. We got things on the menu, but
Surviving Diddy.
You said, but what?
Surviving Diddy.
Surviving Diddy. That's going to be the clapback tonight. So stay tuned as you're watching that. And again, share the stream, you guys. Let me go ahead and pull up our first topic, though. Our first topic is going to be about Deja Taylor. If you guys don't remember her, quick reminder, she is the mother of the 6-year-old little boy that was going to school in Newport News, Virginia, who went to school with her gun and shot his teacher. He shot his teacher in the abdomen and once through the hand. She did survive her injuries, but she does have a lawsuit out against the school board, the board of directors, everybody and their mama for, I believe, a $40 million lawsuit. Now, let's get back to the mom. So the mom is Deja. And Deja has now been sentenced by a judge to 21 months for being in possession and using marijuana while she owned a firearm. And I guess she lied about this on her application. So I'm going to pull that video up for you real quick as soon as I can find it. Here we Oh, I don't see it. Well, I don't see it. Okay, well, guess what? We don't need the video, but she was sentenced to 21 months. And listen, I'm here for it because listen, if you ask me, this 6-year-old boy, like she's clearly negligent.
Clearly.
Negligent as hell. She was keeping the weapon in her purse, just with like some type of like lock. I don't know. I mean, I don't know much about guns, but there was some kind of lock just on the gun itself. But clearly he knew how to unlock it. He took it to school and he shot his teacher.
Back in the day, parents used to really get in trouble for when their kids did things. Today is a whole different day with all these new laws and things like that. But back in the day when I was younger, if you did something, your parent was charged with the crime that you did.
Yeah.
So it was an incentive for parents to really like parent their children in a real way, because if your kid was out here killing and shooting and robbing, then you was going to share those charges.
People always talk about like marijuana not being a big deal and this should be legalized and things like that. This was just one of those situations, in my opinion, where it was like, they had to find some law to stick to her in order to charge her and show that she did have some responsibility to the incident. Absolutely. She has been very, very, very remorseful. She's been very receptive. She did talk about her son having some underlying mental health conditions. She did mention that he had ADHD. And that he's just kind of, in her words, all over the place. I don't know how ADHD correlates with bringing a gun to school, shooting the teacher, and saying, I shot that bee.
Well, neither do I.
But I am happy to see that a judge did sentence her this week to 21 months for using
her. So the mom was sentenced to 21 months for the crime of the 6-year-old shooting a teacher.
Well, technically, she was sentenced to 21 months in prison for using marijuana while owning a firearm, which is illegal under U.S. law. So they
Okay,
found.
so they basically just found the way to nail her ass to the cross.
Correct.
Does. Okay, I get it.
Correct.
The system is a wild system.
This is a huge case. I mean, what do we both had spent some time in Hampton Roads, so we know Newport News is bad news, bad news, Virginia. And
people out there.
The defendant in this case, which is Abby Zuwiner, who is the teacher, she's suing the school system for $40 million, like I mentioned. She spent nearly 2 weeks in the hospital. She had 4 surgeries after the shooting. I mean,
that's a good hit.
It's a good hit, but she's basically saying in a separate lawsuit that the school was negligent because they had made aware that the child may have had a gun 3 different times before she actually was shot. So if I'm her, I would have been pissed too.
So that 6-year-old been packing just in case.
No, this was all on the same day. So it wasn't like he went to school and then he just whipped out the gun and shot his teacher. Like there had been some conversation that he might have a weapon. But I think probably due to his age, no one really took the allegation seriously. Yeah. They didn't check it in. So the principal had resigned. The former superintendent ended up resigning. Kind of all after this. So this has been a big deal. And a judge said she's going to go ahead and allow her to pursue her case to go after this $40 million. So we'll see what happens.
Well, she's going to get paid. It's time to get paid.
Listen, the teachers don't get paid enough, number one. And number 2, it's time for her to get paid. I agree. I don't know if $40 million is a true loss amount, but I mean, you get shot in commission of doing the hardest and most important thing that could be taught in this world is being a teacher. I think the school board is going to have to shell up some cash.
Yeah, I do too. And we have to be more. How can I say it? We have to protect our teachers in a different way. We have to be more alert of these young people bringing these, weapons and, just being more cognitive to the situations, man. I mean, a lot of things just happen in the schools right now, right? And I'm not sure if they have metal detectors in elementary schools. I know they do here in Washington, D.C. Newport News, it has crime there, but not as much as we have here in Washington, D.C. But I feel bad for this person. But needless to say, I mean, if I can get in her shoes, I would. I'll take a little shot for $40 million. I'll take a little shot for $40 million. Bring my flowers. Come on.
Listen, there is, I don't know if you saw this video, but there is a shocking video that hit the internet, I think last week. There was a Miami rapper caught on video shooting and killing her manager before getting struck by a vehicle. So I don't know if you saw this, but she is now.
I don't think that it was self-defense.
Well, hold on. That is what the point I want to get to. But let's warm up our audience and let them know what happened. So I have the video. I'm going to show you guys a video, and basically it's showing Kavani Hicks, whose stage name is Kivani. But Kavani is she's being charged with second-degree murder in connection with the October shooting. We're just now seeing their surveillance footage. She is in a physical altercation with 2 men, one being her manager. Let's take a look at the video, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about it. And let's remember, this is in the state of Florida.
Yeah.
Surveillance video obtained by NBC6 shows the moment a rapper allegedly shoots and kills her manager in front of the Wynwood Walls back on October. Footage shows rapper known as Kivani, whose real name is Kavani Hicks, get out of the white Lexus parked on Northwest 2nd Avenue. The driver gets out of the car and he and the woman are seen arguing. The dispute gets physical and they start hitting each other. A second man gets out of the Lexus and also starts to attack Hicks. Then both men are seen on top of Hicks in the struggle. Video shows one man slamming Hicks to the ground. Moments later, all three get up and Hicks is seen walking in the opposite direction. Hicks then reaches into her purse, walks back towards the two men, and starts shooting as the men run. Her manager is hit and collapses on the street. The other man gets into the Lexus and drives off, slamming the car into Hicks. The Lexus reverses before driving off. Hicks gets up and runs away. The victim died at the hospital. Hicks claims it was all self-defense and that her life was in danger. In November, a judge granted her house arrest with a $50,000 bond.
All right.
She in there looking rough.
Okay, so what's your take on this? I know you said you don't feel like this is self-defense. Tell us.
She caught a body. So I am sensitive to the fact or the narrative that she was struck by two men and that she was jumped by two men. However, had she would have shot them in the act, that's one thing. But she was assaulted, walked away, right? The walking away part is when it gets premeditated because she thought about what she was going to do. She walked away. It's no different than the police shooting a black man in the back unarmed, right? She had a chance to get away. No one was chasing her. No one was threatening her after the altercation. She went into her bag, thought about it, turned around, shot him, and not just shot him, but what did she do, Jules? Finish him. You know what I'm saying? So she, you know, in DC, we call walking them down. She walked them down.
Yeah.
She went in her purse, shot him. When she failed, she finished the job. So he wasn't dead when she first initially shot him, allegedly, but she made sure he was dead. So obviously, I don't know if this is a passion of crime. I don't know what's going on, but usually when it gets this physical, obviously there's some passion involved there.
Yeah.
But she gunned him down. She gunned him down, and obviously, her lawyer is going to be able to fight and say that she was assaulted and all these different things. But needless to say, she walked him down.
This is an incredible case, and because it's in the state of Florida, I'm convinced that she could easily walk away from this.
She's walking away. You could do anything in Florida. Florida is not a part of the Constitution. I promise. Florida and Texas is exempt from any laws put forth by the Constitution. I'll leave it there.
She has a great case, and also she has a great case with that caveat of she started walking away and the men started walking away. Mm-hmm. The lawyer is going to play very deeply into the fact that she is a young woman who was attacked by two men. And with that being said, that is going to really, really, really her lawyer is going to really, really highlight that to the jury. And in fact, I think the lawyer should, right? That would be my stance. That would be my argument. I looked at some of the comments on social media under, this video, and people honestly think that she was being completely negligent and reckless. The thing is when you are in a physical altercation, if she had shot the gun as the fight was going on, she would have been good. But because there was that brief moment where she walked away and then shot him and then chased him with the gun, I think she is going to face some charges for that, because now it doesn't seem like essentially self-defense. However, what she is alleging, and here's the thing, what she's alleging is the victim in this incident, her manager, said that he was going to kill her. And so they may use a dead man's words against her or against him. But, again, this is Florida. You just never know what could happen here. And we don't have a statement from the third party in this case, which is the second guy.
She walked him down. She did her thing and she walked him down. That's what we call it. For me, like you said, key word is if she disarmed her firearm while the attack was happening, that's one thing. But she walked away, thought about it, got her thoughts together, and came down. Now, it's also called overkill, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because she shot him, he was disarmed. but she finished them all. She wanted it to be her word against a dead man's word. So
Yeah.
I don't condone any domestic violence or any man beating on a woman, but I also don't condone you, smashing somebody while they down. She in the great words of Mortal Kombat, she finished him.
She definitely finished him.
Finished him.
Listen, there's going to be bystander witness testimony that comes into this. There's going to be this second guy that plays into this. I am very
he got out of there, but he the one who actually hit her with the car. But
he's free and exempt for me because she was shooting at him and he used his vehicle to get up out of there. Left his man, but I guess essentially saved his own life because she was going to shoot and kill both of them. And he had to get out of there. So I think he will face no charges for hitting her with the vehicle. And I think that
no, he's not, because he didn't mean to hit her. He was fleeing the scene.
No, he absolutely meant to hit her. Are you kidding me?
So? You think so?
Absolutely. If someone's shooting at you and do we need to play the tape again? You're definitely, because here's the thing. Why are you not trying to hit her?
Yeah.
You have to disarm her. So he's getting in the car. He's speeding off, but he's trying to disarm her so she doesn't keep shooting at the car. So listen, he's all well and good with me in that. And so we're gonna see. There's a full video on this. This is just a clip of what we saw. I don't know. We got to see what's going on. Listen, one thing I can tell you, she's not going to jail for life.
No, she's not.
She's not going to jail for life.
Just them giving her the second degree already let you know that she's chilling. You know, just giving her the second degree is just one of those things where they're not going to go too crazy on her. And I get it. I mean, it's like, the damsel in distress, but I mean, it's a story that we don't know.
Yeah.
A woman don't just kill you for putting your hands on her. She killed him.
Yeah, what you're saying is there some backstory to this that we don't know about?
Yes. He assaulted her before. He knows a secret. He knows where her dead bodies is. It's something there that made her say, you know what? You're going to die.
Well, one thing about it is I'm
this
sure
might not be her first body too, because the way she did it, she looked like she hurt.
Yeah,
this might be her first one.
Well, let's go ahead and move on, you guys. I see we have a couple people tapped into the stream. Make sure you guys pull up in the comments. Let us know what you think about these stories. We want to have a conversation with you. We want a little bit of back and forth.
No question.
In Trump news, just real quick, I want to go ahead and bring this to you guys. A New York appeals court reinstated the gag order against Donald Trump in that civil fraud trial that he's up against. And the only reason I mention this is because I just think it's super hilarious that Donald Trump had to get a second gag order in this trial, because what he basically did is that he was talking so much trash about the court clerk that she was getting death threats. So she was getting dozens and dozens of phone calls. I mean, he was ripping her apart. The court clerk saying how she was biased, this, that, and the third, and all of these other things. Her personal emails were leaked. Her social media was leaked. So, I mean, his whole fan base is just like going smack at her.
Yeah, the Beehive has nothing to do. The Beehive ain't got nothing on Trump supporters.
Oh, no. Absolutely not.
They're out of control.
Absolutely not. And so to make matters worse, though, Donald Trump is like, he's super pissed about this, right? Because he feels like after he leaves court, he should be able to talk about the proceedings. But the judge is saying, absolutely not. Everything that happens in the courtroom must stay in this courtroom. We're not going to discuss this in the public. And we are going to, have some decorum here, right? And Trump
control.
He feels very limited. Like he feels like this is just like an injustice. He feels that this is just totally disgraceful, that it's not fair. But this is a $250 million lawsuit that was brought against him against New York's Attorney General's office. And they're alleging that Trump and his co-defendants committed repeated fraud by inflating assets on financial statements and getting on better terms with commercial real estate loans and in other insurance policies. His daughter had to come and testify about the financial statements, even though she basically came to say, like, I don't know anything about this. I don't know anything about my dad's business, blah, blah, blah. But Trump basically has urged the appeals court to continue to block this gag order. Like, he wants his attorney to say, we don't want no gag order, and saying that the threats to the judge and the law clerk don't justify limiting the former president's constitutional rights to defend himself. So he thinks that he needs to defend himself outside of court. So even though there's death threats against the judge and the court clerk, he thinks that this is just outrageous that they're limiting his voice outside of the courtroom.
Yeah, because Trump is entitled. You know what I'm saying? He's rich, he's entitled, and I mean, it's him. Nobody does it like Trump. Never will, never have, and never will. Trump is out of control. He's always out of control, man. But I hate to say it, I love how authentic he is. I don't agree with everything Trump has done, but he has an authenticity about him. Let me not give him that credit and say authenticity. He has a rawness about him. He has a way of just coming out being unpolished. We all know that he has never been polished enough to be in the presidency seat. I'm sure he has the education, but he comes off as one of those,
What is the Ivy League education? Trump is a mastermind. It
is, but how raw he comes across, how he talks, how he does things, it just.
There's just no poof. There's no. Yeah.
And I mean, we can't really say it on the show, but he is the leader of grabbing women by the, so. So you have that, what I'm saying?
Actually surprised that he didn't get wrapped up into that New York law.
He's getting reelected.
Oh, you think so?
Absolutely. Joe Biden.
I don't think so.
I am 2,000% sure. Joe Biden is.
You got to think about this, though. Here's why I say he won't win. Well, here's why I say he probably will not take the Republican nomination.
Okay.
He has not been at the last two most critical debates. He's also actively fighting more than one court case right now out of New York.
What?
I don't see the Republican Party getting behind someone who's actively.
None of that matters. You know what the Republican Party cares about? They care about money. They don't care about anything. They don't care about any of that. It does not matter. Our former President Trump would show up at the uptief hour like nothing happened.
It was a foul sweep.
Absolutely, he's going to be reelected, and he's going to put his name in that ballot. Absolutely,
he's definitely going to put his name on the ballot. And here's the thing:
Joe Biden has done such a piss poor job in reassuring the country of anything. He's done a piss poor job of just being the president. I can't really tell you too many things Joe Biden has done. One of the things that I was looking forward to Biden doing was making sure that he did this loan forgiveness. And that has been so shaky. It's like, yes, we're going to do it. Well, hey, these are the things put in place. Hey, I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. Hey, it's frozen. Hey, it's like, come on, man. What are you talking about?
I think I saw maybe one person on the internet saying that their student loan got forgiven. I don't know how true that is. I'm going to have to look into it because my student loan hasn't been forgiven.
I'm sure they did it a different way. I'm sure they went through a different channel.
I think there is no comparison right now between President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump because they are just two totally different things. And I think the race is totally different. Now, here's the thing. If Trump could secure or does secure the Republican nomination, which I'm saying I don't think he will. I think I think Governor DeSantis has a huge chance to sweep this, and people love DeSantis. Like they love him. They
No,
love.
it is much as they love Trump. People go Trump crazy.
But I think that. But here's the thing: I think the Republican Party the Republican Party is not full of Trumpsters anymore. Like they have pretty much ousted out, except for like the Marjorie Taylors of the world.
But the United States is, and that's all that matters.
Those guys are. But what matters is the money, right? Like the Republican Party has to say, okay, we want this guy. And the money is going to back that up. Now,
guess what Trump about?
He's about that dough cheese.
And guess what he got?
Well, we'll see. Because if he loses, I mean, I don't know. I could be totally wrong. What do you guys think in the comments? Who do you think the Republican nominee is going to go to? Do you think Trump has
going to bring this crazy
man? You think Ron DeSantis is going to kind of pull? I don't know. Quite honestly, I think. But here's what I do think about the presidential election. Since we're on it, I think we are going to see a high number of folks not vote. Period. I think we are going to see a lot of people feel like they're not interested in even participating in this election whatsoever. And so with that being said, I think there's going to be so many people who just don't vote because they're not going to like either person who's going to be the leading candidate. That's what I think.
I think people are going to vote, and I think their vote is going to go to Trump, like it always have and always will. It's one of the things when especially blacks. When blacks think about Trump, they just think about the what was that called? The stimulus check. He is going to get credit for that stimulus check until we're black and blue. It's over.
And the most ignorant thing is we would have got a stimmy no matter what president it was.
Exactly. And
here's the thing. Would it been it probably would have been hold on. Was Donald Trump president when we got the stimmy? Oh, yeah, he was.
We got the stimulus
president during the pandemic.
Absolutely. He threw them
that was a wild time. That was a wild time. Yes, and he kept saying that COVID wasn't real. Yes. Man, I'm telling you, you can
he also told people to put
bleach in their veins.
People to put bleach in their veins. And people did it and died.
Oh, how quickly we forget. He has so many terrible sound bites. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see, Rado. We will see.
Trump is out of control, Lucy. He's out of control.
Well, let's move on. Let me give you a quick feel-good story. I did bring this up once before, but Bronny is coming back, y'all.
Let's go.
Bronny is returning back to basketball just 4 months after that cardiac arrest scare. This is the thing. I can't believe it's been only 4 months. I swear that was like, I felt like that was like a year ago, but he's been given the green light to resume his athletic career. Medical officials have cleared him. He's a USC freshman. He's ready to get back on the court. Reps for the James family shared the great news this Thursday, saying that their 19-year-old son will have a full and final evaluation with USC staffers in the coming days before joining his teammates at practice next week.
This is going to go stir crazy.
Yeah.
So USC did recruit some good players, but Bronny is so popular due to his dad. When he hit the floor, oh my goodness, it's going to be like Coach Prime when he first, the first day of his whole Colorado season. I'm telling you, people want to see Bronny. Bronny is definitely someone who is worthy of the position, worthy of all of the madness that's going to happen. Bronny, we support you, man. This young man has been playing basketball his entire life. He is the predecessor of his dad, and we just been wanting to see Bronny. So if anybody know, the story is LeBron don't want to retire because his dream is to play his first year with his son. He wants to be able to mentor his son, mold his son his first year, and basically, show him the do's and don'ts on how to survive in the NBA. He has said that. He has made it public that whoever drafts his son, that is the team that he's going to go to. Doesn't matter if it's Sacramento, Denver, whatever, he's going there.
I love that.
Absolutely, man. It's one of those great things. And You know, Bronny has a passion and desire. We already know that he is a multimillionaire due to his dad, but he wants to play. Needless to say,
They
he
bring such great kids too.
yeah,
Like
such good kids. And Savannah is so great. So he
and
suffered this
gorgeous and just
crazy heart attack. He suffered this crazy heart attack out of the blue, and then he was diagnosed with this whole like abnormal kind of situation that was going on. And yeah, you know,
yeah.
he ended up, as a result, yeah, going through the
It's just such
motions,
one of those cases where it's like such a freak incident, and
Yeah.
then come
Super
back
cool.
to come back from it, and then let's
Yeah.
say he comes back and it's just like it's almost like it never happened, right? He's
Yeah.
you
He
know
don't go crazy.
that's what we pray for, right? That he's gonna, because there's no way he hasn't been home with his dad, like saying like, no, actually I feel great, like let's test out. And of
Let's
course I
do it.
think maybe a part of him is feeling like, do I need to keep some in the tank? I think that's just somebody's natural reaction. But let us know what you guys think about in the comments. I think this is going to be one of those really, really great stories that comes with him and carries him into his celebrity, carries him into his career. This is amazing. So let's take a quick break. But when we come back, oh my God, I cannot wait to get into this teach out. I want to talk about T.I. getting into it with his son King.
Yes, smack that little boy.
Yes, let's look. The break is quick. 30-second break. We coming right on back. Stay in your seat.
See y'all soon. Let's get it.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.
All right, y'all. Welcome back. Welcome back. I told you it was going to be a quick one. Listen, if you haven't already shared that stream, let somebody know what we're talking about, because I cannot wait to get into this.
Let's get into it.
And his son, T.I. and Tiny's son, King Harris, he is one of the youngest in the clan. He is the son to both Tiny and T.I. And he gets into a little altercation on Instagram Live with his dad, kind of following some conversation. Let's just take a look and we'll come back and talk about it. Let's watch.
You ever woke up with a roach on your face?
Period. No, that's not the goal.
All right, then.
And his son King. All of this then popped off after King then sat up there and said he ain't have a silver spoon in his mouth. He grew up in a non-gated community. Well, Mr. Tip Harris, let's just say King's parents, had a totally different thing to say. They was asking him had he ever woke up with roaches in his ear, all this. And of course, we know that the answer to that question is no.
Y'all want to go to the bando in my neighborhood? Do y'all want to go to the bando? Listen, I used to have to come to my grandma's house because I'm getting in the fight.
You act like a baby to go to your grandmama's house.
Every day.
You used to hold your breath
Every
and
day.
no tantrums to go over there.
I don't want to be in these gates. I want to be outside.
He was such a pacifier. He was 12 years old. He couldn't do that in high.
Well, you can't do nothing with me.
I love that, man. I just wish T.I. would have crushed them.
Well, here's what I think is so funny about the incident, because there was a release of an interview with Complex that came out called like an interview called The GOAT. And it was him and King having this like really, really great and funny interview. And I really love the relationship between the two of them. But in the interview, he says to King, he's like, you just want to be from the hood so bad.
So bad. So bad.
Listen, I'm going to let you take you're a father of boys. I'm going to let you go ahead and take the lead on this. What we talking about?
So this hit me a different way, right? Because we have seen this, being broke, being poor, being from the hood has become popular. And I get it. I understand that because it's great for those that's in the struggle. They're able to cope with those things. But guys, being outside, having to be outside, being in that struggle, it's not cool. This young man has been privileged, is living off the back of his father.
Mhm.
However, he just continue to just create this crazy atmosphere that's not real.
Mhm.
Lord, man, you not a thug. You not hard. You not who you trying to be, man. That's who your father was. Your father really went through all those things. Your father really hustled. Your father really played with them things. Your father really came up in the environment and worked hard so you guys don't have to. And it's a smack in T.I. face because T.I. is telling them, like, please, 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 you don't have to go through this. Stop tripping. But
Mhm.
these people just continue to keep tripping. This guy wants to be from the hood so bad. He want to be poor so bad. And,
Yeah.
and and you can see, like, any real guy can really see how soft this guy is. He has these peppermint lips, these peppermint cheeks. He's the perfect Christmas kid, and he just continues to just put on this thing. And I feel bad for him because he'll be one of the ones that's locked up, crying,
Mhm.
screaming, to get out, and somebody gonna do something to that little boy. Like,
I totally agree with you in that it's a very difficult to watch one of your children. King, by the way, you guys, is 19, so he's so young.
so,
And one
oh, he
thing is,
only 19.
yes, he's a kid. He's so young.
Oh,
Like,
oh,
and he's so young. Like he just has not found his way, and I think he is completely lost in the lifestyle that his parents both afforded him.
yeah.
And he's lost in that, and also idolizing what he thinks is is cool and gangsta. In the
Yeah,
interview, I actually learned a lot more about him. He's really, really entrenched in Atlanta culture. He loves Young Thug, like free thugger all day long.
yeah.
He loves Waka, like he loves all the really big Atlanta superstars. Future, he mentions them a lot. And I just think he's idolizing. And this, look, I'm telling you, this is a lot of young people nowadays, younger than us,
Idolizing the wrong things.
idolizing the wrong things. And it's so unfortunate because his dad is somebody who completely turned his life around and afforded his children a life that they don't ever have to sacrifice. And so T.I. even says to him in an interview, not the clip I showed you guys, just to
I
keep
know.
you guys.
I seen to sit down when they were in the two high chairs.
And in that interview, he says to him, he's like, he was like, let you tell it. He was like, you were an orphan. Like, you didn't want to live in the house with us. Wasn't in the family. You was
Yes,
always at your meatball house. All this
2
and that.
days a week. Stop what you doing. A long weekend.
He's, man, you heard T.I. T.I. said, boy, you would hold your breath until you passed out unless we let you go to your grandma's house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bye. You got to go. You know how many kids we got up in here? It's 10 of y'all. You
Yeah.
got to go. You want to
Go
go to
ahead.
grandma's house that bad? Let him go. So it sounded like he was a spoiled little brat.
Definitely a spoiled little brat.
And he was up under his grandmother, and he's a grandma's baby. Okay, cool. But guess what? Your grandmother didn't live in the hood. You think Tiny, and I don't know if you went to
No,
T.I.'s
the
grandmother.
grandma did live in the hood, Luce. The grandma did live in the hood.
Who?
Ti's mom. It was Ti's mom.
Nah, she didn't live in no hood. He probably went to his grandma. She didn't live in no.
I think they said she lived in Bankhead. So it was. I mean, you have to understand. It was less than what they were living in. They were living in a $1 million house.
Right. It wasn't the gated community. However, it was not.
It wasn't the projects neither.
It was Hillcrest. So if we live in Southeast, she was living in Hillcrest,
Absolutely.
and then he could go to the rec center.
Hillcrest is really nice. I cannot wait to get
To
a
give
house.
you guys some context, here's what I'm saying. If he lived in the south side of Seattle, he lived in Beacon Hill. His grandmother lived in Beacon Hill, but he went to go play at Rainier Beach Community Center.
And if he grew up in Southeast, that means we don't even have the nicest houses in Southeast. So let's just say that, to give you guys a good example, T.I. and them live in Bethesda, which is the richest part of Washington, D.C. or the suburbs. So the grandmother would have lived in like you said, Hillcrest.
Yeah.
Hillcrest area, something like that, which is
but then he's going to Turner to go play basketball. You
yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah, so I mean, he going to like little rough past the hoop, but he not staying there. So I mean,
you're not, and your parents pick you up and take you back to Bethesda.
The reason why I still work out, the reason why I'm still like health savvy and things like that, because I'm waiting for my son. I'm waiting for my son at 12 years old to act like King, so I can crush him. So I'm looking to say, okay, son, you calling dad all these names and you doing all this stuff. Okay, let's close the door and let's handle that.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I'm outside with the men on a regular basis. My son will never be built to be outside.
Right.
A lot of these guys that's trying to be hard and trying to do these things, you don't want to do this. You saying you want to do it, but at the end of the day, it's not what you really want. So the CTI have a son that he's afforded everything, and I'm working with young people who want fathers. I'm working with young people that want mentors. I'm working with young people that really want to get out of the struggle. And this guy sitting up here playing around T.I.'s son, faking like he this and faking like he that, and he not.
And his brothers don't even act like that either. His brothers are not.
Well, one thing I want to say too, before we get off this topic, shout out to T.I., shout out to Tiny. So what people don't understand is that there's a viral video going around. I didn't even know this. It's these young kids singing, and these young kids are singing like a Christmas carol. I did not know it was T.I. and Tiny's daughter.
Oh, you didn't know it was
no, so not some, but there's six kids, right? That's T.I. and Tiny's. The oldest daughter, her name starts with a E. Yeah, she's not T.I.'s biological daughter, but all of the children sing, sing or play an instrument or rap.
So there's
extremely talented.
Yeah, Damani. I love. I think his name is Damani.
One plays the guitar. The other one is like a conscious rapper,
and he's really good.
And this is my problem with King. Right, King might be the most talented. Like to be honest, King is a King Cole. Like Lil King can rap. He could do a lot of stuff, but he's just I can't really say it on the show, but he's what real guys hate. Like he's what we call a Merlin Bama. He's like like we hate it because it's like, Slim, you don't gotta do that. Be yourself.
Yeah,
we know who you are. We can see who you are. Just relax.
It's
man.
oozing out of you. And listen, we'll wrap this one up with a bow. I do appreciate T.I. coming out with a statement, being like, "Listen, this is between me and my son, and I don't care what y'all talking about on this internet, but y'all not about to bully my son." And I appreciate that because he's coming in defense of his son, because he's already we clearly see that Tip is reprimanding him at home. And there are other videos where King is like, I know TIP gonna have something to say. So T.I. is not holding his tongue to his son. Like, he is constantly saying something to this young man and getting him all together. But we'll digress on that topic because I want to save the last 15 minutes for what y'all came here to listen to. And we might as well go ahead and get all the way.
What we on?
Listen, you think I wasn't on host this show and not talk about Diddy?
Oh man, that's
sadly mistaken.
Surviving Diddy. I heard Diddy a super freak too, though.
I'm gonna break it all the way down for you. Diddy goes ahead and steps down as chairman of Revolt TV. This is what Revolt went ahead and posted on their Instagram. They posted a statement saying Sean Combs has stepped down from his position as chairman of Revolt. While Mr. Combs has previously had no operational or day-to-day role in the business, the decision to help ensure that Revolt remains steadfastly focused on our mission to create meaningful content for the culture and amplify the voices of all Black people throughout this country and the African diaspora. Our focus has always been one that reflects our commitment to the collective journey of revolt. One that is not driven by any individual, but by the shared efforts and values of our entire team on behalf of advancing, elevating, and champion our culture. And that shall continue. Listen, honey, Revolt said, because I don't know about you, but I read the 35-page document.
You read it?
Yes, I did. And I sent it to you to read so you can dive deep. Because listen, honey, this is why people are running away like flies away from
So hold on. So I'm about to be real messy, right? So I'm gonna talk about the rumors. So I am Team Diddy. I like Diddy. However, I do understand this whole, like, they went extra crazy with R. Kelly, this whole surviving in person, right? But so this is the thing, right? Diddy is the person that comes to the table with everything. So there is no, I don't want to say there is no Cassie without Diddy, because Cassie is a,
there was no Cassie without Diddy.
Okay, so I mean, there is no Kim Porter. So I mean, I'm just trying to keep it real without being disrespectful to women that do have a craft.
Oh, no. Listen, Cassie admits to that. But
okay, so this is my thing, right? So my thing is this: why is it fair for a woman to be able to break up with a guy, go live her life with somebody else, and say, you know what, I want a piece of what you work for your whole life?
Oh, no, honey. Listen, you got to dig into this. I'm
gonna dig into this, but this is my thing, right? Cassie was with Diddy because he was the man. She was with Diddy because he was someone who was sought after. He was rich. He was all these different things. Why is it fair for a woman to break up with a guy 5 or 6 years later and come back and say, you know what, I need money from you for emotional damages or whatever the case may be. Before we get into this, before we get into anything, I just want to say, what's the real issue here other than money? Why did she come back 5, 6 years later to say anything to Diddy at this point now where there has been no communication? She's been married. She's had her whole life, this whole thing going on. Why? Because if Diddy wasn't rich, would she be reaching out to Diddy?
I can answer all those questions for you. The first one is, if Diddy wasn't rich, would she be doing this? If Diddy wasn't rich, she 90% would not have been involved in this situation. Diddy wouldn't have been able to get away with any of this stuff had he not been this rich and this uber powerful.
Absolutely.
And now your question is, why did she wait so long? Well, she waited so long because there is now a law that came into play called the Adult Survivors Act, which is why you're seeing all these sexual assault cases
specifically in New York, right?
Specifically in New York. And it's a piece of legislation that came out by Governor Kathy Hochul. And she signed this act, and it's created to be a 1-year look back window for survivors of sexual assault that occurred when they were over the age of 18. So now there's this window. It's saying, I'm giving you guys this 1 year to file lawsuits to say, listen, any sexual assault, if you're a sexual assault victim, there is no jurisdiction on time. You can come in this window, which is why you're seing so many women.
I'm so triggered by this, though.
Well, here's the thing: you can be triggered all you want. You can be triggered all you want.
Sexual abuse to someone.
Listen, wait till you get into this, because I initially felt like, dang, why are people coming after Diddy? But when you read this affidavit, when you read this lawsuit,
no, I get it. Diddy treated her like a slut. He made her get her breast implants. He told her to get on the floor and bark like a dog. He told her to do all these things, right? But she was willing to do everything he said.
No, she's not. But here's the thing. Here's where you're wrong. And here's the biggest piece that you're missing. She didn't have an opportunity, because every single time she tried to leave, his people found her and brought her back.
Stop it.
Well, you listen.
What are you about to do?
And let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Because I'm well read. Because I'm well read.
Okay,
and I can tell you why.
Go ahead.
You can get so involved with someone this powerful that you are powerless. If this person is your boss, they control your career. They have been grooming you since you have been 19 years old. This person is 20 years your senior. They're the most powerful person in your life. They control your personal life, your professional life. They control everything about you. How is it that you're going to be able to move away and out of this relationship? This is why you see women in so many abusive relationships for so long, because they don't have access to leave. Every single thing about her is controlled by him. Her apartments owned and curated by him. Her cars owned and curated by him. What professional career did Cassie have?
No.
She didn't have one because she wasn't allowed to have one. If he wanted her to have something, she could have it.
No.
Yeah, this is the cycle of abuse, whether you agree with it or not. But this is true. This is the cycle of abuse. Could she get away? She tried to on a number of occasions. And guess what? She did. She did. And there is actually paperwork that shows that she filed it. She went and tried. Yes, she did.
How did she finally get away? How did she finally get away?
She finally got away because her mother called the police on Diddy, and they filed a domestic domestic complaint.
What caused her mom to do that?
She finally told her mom what was going on. She ran to her mom's house.
She finally got to a point where she said, you know what? I no longer want Diddy. I am no longer allowing this guy to control me. I'm no longer allowing this guy to abuse me. I'm no longer allowing any of these things. She got to a point where she said, you know what? Enough is enough.
Yeah.
Everyone that has control of their life.
But I agree with that. But if you
let me finish for 1 second. Which means that prior to all those things in which I can agree with you, because we use this word abuse too loosely. Women allow themselves to be in these situations because they feel safe. She wanted to be in this situation. It's absolutely true.
No, that's not true.
When a person feel abused to the point where they can't.
Women stay in relationships because they stay in abusive relationships because they don't feel safe.
What?
They don't feel safe to leave. That's a fact. I watched it in my own household. A man can kick, abuse, rape you, do all these things, and you can be that afraid to leave.
Okay, so what happens when that person actually leaves? They get to a point where they say, I don't care about life, death, anything.
Right.
I'm out of here.
Yeah,
And
but this is the thing. That doesn't happen overnight. What happens is, if you look at statistics, a woman who is in a domestic abuse relationship, it takes her 7 times to leave. Why do you think people go back to their abusers? I mean, this is fact. This is statistics. So even though you have an opinion on the matter, it doesn't matter. Your opinion is wrong. Like, fact is fact. You see it historically. A woman can be in a relationship with a man who's abusive, controlling, who beats her up, who does all of these things for her. And if she is too scared to leave, she won't leave. Or guess what? Sometimes she'll even go back.
Yeah.
Because this is the thing.
Who was that on? Who was that on when she goes back?
It's on her. It is on her. And guess what? She has to take responsibility.
When are we going to have women take responsibility for them putting themselves in situations, being in situations, being old enough to understand these situations, and staying in these situations for gain?
So, but this is
these situations for gain. If Diddy was poor, if Diddy didn't have shit, she would never be in these relationships.
And guess what? There's millions of poor women and poor men that are in abusive relationships. So
there's millions of poor women that have less than the guy that's abusing them that stay in these relationships.
And then how do you leave?
You don't leave because you don't have nothing.
No, you don't leave because you have nothing. And then you don't.
Yes, so who fault is that? It's not the guy's fault.
Yes, it is. It's the abuser's fault, because if you're an abuser, yes, it is. And I hope people back me up.
I can never agree with that.
Crazy.
I can never agree with that part.
Well, you don't have to agree with it, but it's fact. What I'm saying is, if somebody is controlling you and manipulating you at all costs, how do you feel like, how do you overcome that? At some point, you eventually do overcome that, right? And you do find the courage to leave, and you build back your support system.
Sometimes,
Here's
not
the
all
thing.
the time. Sometimes.
No, some people actually get murdered, and they can't speak up, and their abusers kill them. But what I'm saying
But
is,
Diddy is not that. Like,
you don't know what Diddy is.
Diddy has never
You don't know
killed
Diddy.
anyone.
You don't know what Diddy is. But
No,
this,
you know
but
Diddy
you know who
is.
does know Diddy?
Diddy has never killed
Cassie
one of
knows
his girls
Diddy.
that he's been abusing. So we
But
can't
Cassie
call him
knows
Diddy.
Diddy. Cassie knows Diddy, and what she alleges is that, and not only does she allege it, but she's confirming that, or some of the security is also coming out and saying, yeah, he did used to beat her up, and there was nothing we could do about it.
I agree that could.
So here's the thing: where's all your energy to say that he shouldn't put his hands on her?
I don't know what happened in those situations.
Oh, now you don't know what happened. Okay, so but here's the thing.
My thing is, a woman doesn't stay with a man that's not financially stable. Women stay with men that are stable that way because it's something that they get out of it. Yeah, he's whipping her, but she still goes on lavish trips. Yeah, he's forcing her to do all these things, but everything she has is paid. So
but all of that is also a part of the cycle of abuse. Like, don't that's all a part of abuse and manipulation.
But you can't counter the abuse and come back years later and say that I need money for the abuse that you gave me during this time I was in a relationship.
Well, essentially you can, because there is a law that was passed by Governor Kathy Hochul that said,
which is bullshit.
But it was passed, and guess what? There's been over 3,000 people that came out since this law came out.
It'll be 100 more thousand come out because people love money. It's going to be 100,000 more people come out because people love money. If you yelled at a girl, if you mistreated her, if you got in an argument and said F you, if there was ever a physical altercation, everyone's coming out.
Well, guess what? Diddy is essentially going to lose everything he has.
Yeah, so how fair is that somebody has worked their ass off their entire life for someone who has less than to take from that person? Like
you shouldn't manipulate and abuse people. And
it's not manipulated. Women allow themselves to be manipulated. Women are smarter than men. They allow themselves to be manipulated so that they can be taken care of.
No, that's not true. There are also men that manipulate women and control them because that is their fetish. That is what they like to do.
Very true. And you got to have a willing participant to do that. You have to have a willing participant to do that.
But if you're manipulated and brainwashed, you're not a willing participant.
No woman is brainwashed.
I encourage you to read. I
don't agree with that. A woman acts dumb so that that can happen. Women are not stupid. She is phenomenal. She's smart. She had a career before Diddy.
Yeah, and she's also a survivor. And then guess what? Why did Diddy settle?
Because of his image, because he's going to lose money.
He lost money. So guess what? He would have still lost everything, and he could have told his side of the story.
He didn't. He
settled for an undisclosed amount.
Yes,
and he's still losing everything.
Yeah, but he's not going to lose everything first.
Well, I mean, he's had to step down.
He lost 30 million. He'll be back,
and he's losing endorsements little by little.
That doesn't matter.
That's a big deal.
He'll get all that back. So my thing is this.
And there's 2 additional women that came out and said that
there's going to be 50 additional women. The same thing happened to Bill Cosby. Anybody with money, they're going to attack. People want money. If this guy was broke, nobody would be coming out about this. But because he has something, women are going to come out. You're going to have women that he has sex with 1996 when he was with Tupac.
So what you're saying is you don't believe anything Cassie said?
Absolutely, I believe what she said. But do she deserve 40 million for riding a coattail? Hell no.
So what do you think she deserves?
She got her payment the 10 years she was with him when she was a kept woman. She got her payment.
Oh, you think she was a kept woman?
It's no question she was a kept woman.
So being sexually
there is nothing more true. There's nothing more true in this case than her being a kept woman. There's nothing more true.
So in order to have the privilege of being a kept woman in Diddy's life, you have to
No,
physical.
no woman should have to go through the abuse. But what I'm saying is, there are real things that happen.
Do you condemn Diddy for physically abusing her?
I condemn him because I don't know everything that went on.
But do you believe that he physically abused her?
I don't know. I'm not going to say I do or don't believe that. What I will say is that.
But then how do you believe Cassie if you don't believe that he did that?
I don't, because I feel like everything is going to be exaggerated. What I do believe is that Diddy is controlling. I do believe he had a fetish. I do believe he made her do things against her will. However, I do believe that
do you condemn that?
I believe that every woman will willingly allow a man to do any kind of crazy thing to them if they're rich.
And do you condemn that?
I don't. I'm not condemning that because it's an ongoing cycle. If a man is broke, a woman is not going to allow a man to oppress him.
So, but then why does that happen in broke relationships?
It doesn't happen in broke relationships. It
happens all the time. Diddy is a 1%.
No. Hold on, let me talk. It happens when women have less than the guy. Now, both of them can be broke, but the woman can have less than what that man.
A man doesn't have control unless he has more money than the woman.
Not really true.
That's exactly what you're saying. If I have more money than you and I'm the leading financial source in the relationship, what power could you possibly have over me?
But there's levels to a woman making 70,000, the guy making 45,000.
No, we're talking about if I make 70 million and you make 1 million.
It's not happening. It's not happening. A woman is not staying in that.
Exactly. That's my point. So if Diddy is a billionaire, and we're gonna wrap it up, but if Diddy is a billionaire and Cassie has nothing,
then she's going to continue to go through this because he has the bag.
And here's the thing: what about a woman who is in a relationship with a man who is maybe a housewife, and the husband makes $250,000 a year? Mm-hmm. And it's the same circumstances. He's controlling.
Every man and woman are going to, whoever controls the bag controls the circumstances.
You don't think there's anything wrong with that?
It doesn't matter. A person can separate themselves from that situation. They don't do it because every person has greed and love money.
But did she separate herself from this?
Absolutely not. Not for 15 years. She stayed for 15 years, Lucy.
She didn't stay for 15 years.
How many years did she stay with Diddy?
I don't know. But
I can exaggerate the 15 years, but it was at least 10.
It was 10. I think it was 10. I think it was 10.
She was with him through the whole J-Lo and everything. She decided to be a side girl. She decided to be anything that Diddy needed because he was rich and popular.
But But this is the thing: a lot of powerful men are abusive and controlling.
Yes, very true. And a lot of women.
But you don't condemn that behavior for men.
My thing is, I'm not that way, but I understand that women.
But do you condemn that behavior of men? Like if you are in a room with powerful men and you see that they're controlling, manipulative, and abusive, and because they have this financial and like powerful status, are you one of the people to encourage that behavior?
I will never encourage that because it's not my character. So I condemn that behavior at all costs. Okay. But it doesn't mean that I don't understand it.
It's okay to understand. That's not my question. My question is not whether or not you understand. I just want the audience to know whether or not No,
I 100% condemn it, but I'm not going to sit here and say, oh my God, I condemn this behavior because I see women are gold diggers naturally. It doesn't matter. They are going to be in situations where they can be taken care of.
That's not a gold digger.
It is a gold digger because
it's not.
If you want to allow yourself to go through abuse, only that so that you could be taken care of.
But you can't say all women are gold diggers. So am I a gold digger?
I don't know. You could be, depending on what your circumstances is. If your significant other had $500 million,
because you're generalizing it now.
No, I'm not generalizing. When I'm telling you, this is the real scenario. If your significant other had $500 million, you might let him slap your ass and not say nothing because you understand that he gives you an allowance of $1 million a month. You're not willing to let these things go because of your abuse. And Cassie did not allow these things to go because of her abuse. She wanted her allowance. She wanted her car. She wanted her career.
Why'd she give it back?
Because after 10 years of getting her ass smacked around, she said enough is enough.
And then moved on.
Yes,
and had kids. And then said, now I'm gonna come back and hammer your ass for damages.
So what damages? What damages? She wasn't in the gym. She wasn't in the gym while he was shooting.
Then why did he? If he wasn't, then why did he thank her during his Lifetime Achievement Award when he said, "You were with me during my darkest times, and I appreciate it"?
Because he was having sex with her at the time.
No.
With any other girl.
Listen, you don't want to argue facts, but what I'm saying is you don't mention somebody. She was just as pivotal in his life as she was in his, and you don't thank somebody. You don't thank your ex in a Lifetime Achievement Award. And then say, and Cassie, by the way, I want to thank you specifically because you were with me during some of my darkest times. You don't thank someone during that moment, a huge moment like that, a Lifetime Achievement Award, if they didn't do anything.
I don't agree with that at all. For a woman to be your support system at that time, that's fine. But Diddy got rich.
That's not what he said.
Diddy got rich with Biggie. Like we ain't about to say Cassie is the most insignificant part of his coming up. If anything, he came up with the popularity of J-Lo. But Diddy been up.
He didn't.
Cassie is a great woman and everything like that, but he kept Cassie in the dark as his side girl. Like Cassie wasn't somebody that he put in the limelight like a J-Lo or anybody else.
Yeah, because she was her boss, and she was also a young girl, and he was in a relationship with Kim Porter. So how could he?
Absolutely. So that's what I'm saying to you. Like at the end of the day, it's like I feel like he did a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? That was wrong with her, whatever the case may be. I don't know all the facts, but what I'm saying is she stayed in that situation because she was a kept girl. Every kept girl is going to turn their face or turn a blind eye to a lot of stuff going on with that man because they will not allow their kept life to be taken from them.
All right. Well, we're over time, so we're gonna finish there. I think you have one comment of someone.
What did they
say? Esther Ferris.
That woman stayed with that abusive man. She could. Esther, that's what I'm trying to say, Esther. At the end of the day, who is you, Esther Fars? I love you. And what Brooke say? I read the company settle and will result in him losing his portions. My thing is, and I'm gonna say this before I leave, okay?
We're out of time. We don't have any more time.
All right, y'all. We had a good time this week. We surviving Diddy. I'm surviving Diddy. Diddy, I'm mad at you, but I still understand what you're going through. Surviving Diddy. If you want to find me, you can find me at all platforms at Rado007, even Gmail. Rado007. That's Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever you name it, man. Rado007. I love y'all. Peace.
All right, y'all. And I'm Jules Jessie. You guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Treasure of Jules and even TikTok. I'm posting a few things on there too. Treasure of Jules Jules on TikTok. Pull up, follow me, pull up in my messages, my DMs. Let me know what you want to talk about next week. Send me some videos. What is on the menu? We want to talk about it. We'll be back next Thursday, same time, same place. Until then, stay peaceful. Later.